Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to look into the JavaScript questions. No matter you are going to give interview for the Angular, for the React, anything, you will always face JavaScript questions in your interviews. That's why in this video, we are going to look into the 10 JavaScript question, which is really important. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so question number one is this. We just need we will discuss some output type questions of JavaScript. So in this, what will be the value of y at line number 7? So just pause the video and think about that, and then we will discuss it. Okay, so the answer will be 1 undefined. Let me run it. It will be the one undefined. And what is the reason behind it? Because we have the variable y equals to 1 and we added a if condition in a if block. We are doing the y plus equals to type of f. F is a function which we declare in this expression. So obviously, as we all know that this will this will run at the runtime. That's why when you trying to just find the type of the f, you will get undefined and the value of y is 1. Okay, so the answer will be 1 undefined. That's true. Okay, let's move to the second question. Okay, you will understand the previous one better with this question. So again, we have the like one variable p equals to 1, and inside the if block, this is the true condition. We just added a true condition here, and inside this block, we just added the function declaration, and then we are trying to do the same as the first question. So P equals to type of fun. So this fun will be the function now, because now at this time it is not in this evaluation, because this evaluation happens at the runtime, and because we added this function in the if block, the inside the if, so now we will get type of fun is function. So obviously the answer of the P will be 1 and function. So we will concatenate the 1 with function. So answer should be 1 function. Let me run it out. Okay, we are getting the 1 function. Okay, cool. Let's move to the another question, the question number third. So how many ways we have to empty an array in JavaScript? Okay, so let's try to do that. We have one array, arr equals to, we have the array, we have the 5 element inside it. What we can do, we can just assign the empty array to the arr just to empty the array. But just keep in mind that if we are using the reference of this array, then and I am just assigning the empty array to this arr, then it will not affect the referenced array. We can understand it just quickly. Empty the arr, so we can do this like this and just run it. So now arr is empty. What we can do, let me add that, like if I'm just storing the arr in any other variable, let me do that, like where new arr equals to arr. Now let me console the arr. Okay, so I'm just assigning the new array to the arr, and I already assign the ARR to the new array, so it will be remain same because we are reassigning the value to ARR, so it will not affect the reference of the previous new ARR. Cool, let me run it. So the value will be the empty for the ARR, but for the new ARR, it will be the same. That's cool. Okay, so we have the many methods. By using that, we can just empty the array. But what else we can do? Like we can give the ARR dot len equals to 0 just to empty the array dot length equals to 0. It will empty the ARR and it will affect the reference also. I mean, if you assign the ARR in any other variable, it will empty that too. So let me run it and the array will be empty one. Okay. And we have the other method like we can use this splice. Obviously, we use this splice to splice the elements from array. So if I want these three elements, I use this splice just to give the index of the starting element and this index of the last element. So if I want to empty the array by using this splice, what we can do, we can just give the index of the first element, that is 0, and the index of the last element, that is array dot length. We can give that to the splice, then it will empty the array. We can do like we can just add the splice like arr dot splice, and we can give the first index and the last index, that is arr dot length. It's cool. Okay, so it will start from 0 to the end and splice all the elements from the array. We will get the empty. Okay, so let's move to the question number 4. Okay, so what will be the value of ARR and why? So, okay, so we have one function that is modify array. We are calling that function and sending one array as a parameter, and there is one function. I mean, we are sending the callback function also. In modify array, we are modifying the array which we are sending as a param. So, okay, so this array we are assigning it to this ARR, and we are assigning this ARR to this one. So it obviously holding the reference of the array, and we are just updating that array. We are not reassigning the new value or anything. We are just updating the array. So, and then we are calling the callback function, this one. And in this function, we are just getting the value of ARR. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 100 because array holds the reference in this case, and we are just updating that, so it will affect the previous one. That's why we will get the ARR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 100. Let me run it. Yeah, so we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 100. Let's move to the next question. Question number 5. I like this question actually. So in this question, what we are doing, like we have this self-invoking function. Inside it, we are declaring two variables, a equals to b equals to 5. And we are just consoling the value of v outside the function, as we know very well that where is a functional scope. So if we assign any variable using where, if we are using where, we can use that inside a function, but outside the function it will give the undefined not defined something. But in this case we will get the value of b 5, in the console. So how that is possible? Because for the A and B, we are declaring A by using the var, but for B we are not using the var for this function. So it will consider B as a global variable. That's why we will get the value of B equals to 5. Let me run it, and we are getting the value 5. Even if I try to get the value of A, then obviously I will get the error in that case. Like I will get the error for the reference error. A is not defined because we are defining A by using the var. That's why we are getting the error. And for the for even if we do it like this, like var for B, and let me give some value to A in. And now if I try to access B outside this function, then it will give the error for B also. We will get the same error as A for B also, like the reference error B is not defined. That's great. Okay, so let's move to the question number 6, that is closure. So explain the closure with a good example. Okay, let's do that quickly. So in JavaScript, we can define a function inside the another function. Okay, and we can return a function from the function. That is also fine. Okay, so let me create one example for the closure, and then we will understand it well. So we have a function like the outer function, or we can say it is a parent function, and we have one variable inside it. Okay, and we have one child function inside it, and we are returning hi with the name from this display name function. Okay, and we are calling that function here. That's fine. So for the child function, obviously this child function can use the variable of the outer function. We know that. That's true. So what is the closure exactly? So what we are doing here, like we are calling the parent function, that is greet. We are assigning that into the G1. So this parent function is returning the another function, that is display name. Okay, and then if you just console the display name, then you will get, obviously this is a function, so you will get the function definition here. But when you call that, you will get the this return value, that is hi with the name, that is John. Okay, so this name variable is the variable of the outer function, and we already call that here. Now we are not calling the parent function. With the G1, we are not calling the parent function, but we still have the scope of the parent function inside this child function, because this creating the closure. That's why we have the scope of the parent function inside the child function. That's why the child function is able to access the name of the parent function. That's true. Let me run it out. Okay, so for first console, we are getting the definition of the function display name. That's true. And for the second console, we are getting the hi John. That's also true. We are getting the name John. Okay, so this is the closure. So easy, isn't it? Is for bind. Why we need to use bind in JavaScript, and what is the bind actually helps in JavaScript code. So, what the exactly meaning of it? So we can understand it by using the one example. Okay, so actually the good use of bind function is when you have a particular function that you want to call with a specific value, you can then use the bind to pass the specific object to the function, or we can say the specific context uh, for that function, and that uses this reference. I mean, for example, like we have one example for the display name. In this example, let me let me comment this out. Then, so we have one object person with the name first and last. Fine. We have one function where we are just using the this dot first and this dot last. So if I console, I mean if I just call this display name function here, then, and I'm not passing any context to this. So so this dot first, in that case this dot first and this dot last is undefined. So I just want to say, like, if we call it like this, we will get the undefined for the first and for the last both. Okay, but if you want to give some context of this function, or you want to give some context to this function, and you want to give the value of this value of this to this display name function, what you can do, we have an object with the first and last name. So when we are calling this function display name, we can bind it with the person object. Okay, so what does it mean? In this case, this display function will use person person context in this function. Like if you call this dot first and this dot last, so it will refer to this first and this last. That's true. Let me run it out. So for the first console at line number 10, we will get the this is undefined and undefined. So obviously we are not binding it with any context. We are not giving the value of this. That's why we are getting the undefined and undefined. But for the second console, we are binding it with the person object. We are giving the context to the display name. That's why it is getting the value of the first and last, the foo and bar. This is the bind in JavaScript. Okay, so here is question number 8. Write a function for sum 1, 2, 3. Okay, as you can see, and most of the people should know about it, that is the currying function. And we can write a currying function to make a program for the sum 1, 2, and 3. So, what is the currying actually in JavaScript? So we can say currying is just a technique in functional programming, that transformation of the function of multiple argument into the several function of a single argument in a sequence. So we are not sending the 1, 2, and 3 as a argument to the function sum. We are calling the function sum with one argument, and then we will return one another function. We will call that by using the argument 2, and then again we will return one another function and call the function by using the argument 3. That's the currying, because in JavaScript, as we know, we can send a function as an argument, and we can return a function from a function. We can do that in JavaScript, so that's why come into the picture so that we can do the programming like that. So let's create one function for this. That's very easy. Let me write it down so that we can understand it well. We need to call a function sum with the argument 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we need to write a function for that. Let's write it quickly. What we are doing here, we are just calling a function sum with the argument 1. I'm calling a function sum with the argument 1. Okay, I will get that in A. Then what I'm doing, I'm just returning the another function. Okay, so I will return a function with this, and I will call that function with the argument 2. That is B. I'm getting that in B. And again inside it, I'm again returning a function. Okay, and then again I'm calling that with the argument 3. I'm getting that in 3. And then what I'm doing inside it, I'm just returning the A plus B plus C. So I will get the A, B, and C access of all the argument in this function. We can see like we have the A, B, and C inside the most child function. We will return that, and let's console it so that we get the answer. Okay, so we are getting 6 in console. We are getting the sum of 3. That's it. Okay, let's move to the another question. Next question, question number 9. Okay, what should be the output for this? Okay, let's understand it first. What we are doing, we have one function output that is a self-invoking function, and we are sending 5 as an argument of this function. We are getting that in x, and we are deleting x. Okay, and we are returning x. Okay, then we will get that x value in this console. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are just deleting the x. So why we used this delete operator? We use it to delete the property from any object. Okay, so but x is not a property of any object. X is a local variable of this function. X is the argument of this function. Obviously, we can't delete it by using the delete operator. That's why when you call this function, you will get the 5 as an output. It will not affect the value of x. Let me run it so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, so we are getting 5 in output. That's it. It's easy, isn't it? Last but not the least. Before this, guys, I just want to say please like, share, and subscribe my channel because my this channel is quite new. So obviously, please subscribe it so that we can learn together. Okay, let's move to the question. We have this. Okay, what do you want to know in this question? Okay, so what we are doing here, we have one object employee with the property company and value xyz. Cool. Now we are just creating object dot create and sending this object in it, and we assign that in the emp1 employee 1. Okay, then we are using the delete employee 1 dot company, and then we are consoling the employee one dot company. Okay, so what we doing here? Obviously, we are creating one object employee one, and we are creating it by using the object dot create, and we are sending some object. So it means we are sending this object as a prototype to this one. So this object able to access all the properties of this object as a prototype. Okay, so we are using the delete operator here. Can we delete the prototype property by using delete? We can't. We can delete the property of an object by using the delete operator, but we can't delete the property from the prototypes. Got it? So because company is the property of the prototype of employee one, that's why if you do this it will not affect the company. When you console employee one dot company, you will get xyz because you will get this from the prototype, not from the employee one. It is not the employee one property. It is not its own property. It's the prototype property. That's why you can delete it by using the delete operator. Let me run it out. You will get the XYZ. Okay, let's finish it here, and we will meet in the next video. I will make all the videos, all the questions which interviewer can ask in interview, and all the important questions of the JavaScript and the React.js. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, guys.